and then maybe later do a when the pain kicks back in, we can do another consult, but we can rule out or rule in doing these other things. And I guess if mobility starts to be an issue because I'm old, then we can talk about the surgery or the other procedure later. Then I missed that. Let's turn around and do that again. So there's options, but not going to be seeing my back doctor. She's the second one. The first one I saw him, and we had honestly, I can't remember what we did. It might actually have been the ablation first time round, and he was attendant in the operating room. And at that visit, he basically told me, yes, I'm quitting, you're going to need to find a new doctor. So, okay. Seems every time I get an ablation, my doctor quits. So, yay, fun. But also, with any luck, be looking at a couple of years before I need to go and see a doctor, and then I can get referred. It'll have been a couple of years since I've seen a back specialist, and I'll have to get re-referred by my PCP. I did at the beginning of June, I did get an email from the insurance company saying, oh, you need to move your doctors now and cancel all your appointments. And it's like, well, I'm more inclined to see where we are close to the date, because I figured, everybody's going to be moving doctors. I have an appointment with my PCP for, annual checkup and oil change and what have you in August. Chances are if I move doctor, I am not going to get that done in August. It's probably going to be 6 months from now. Plus I have to find a doctor. And that can take a while as well. So I figured I'll keep my appointments on record, and then if this does get sorted out, I don't have any worries. And if it doesn't get sorted out, then I'm going to have to move doctors and find a new, arrange all new appointments for everything anyway. And since a lot of the stuff is specialist on my back, it's going to be I have to find a new doctor and get referrals to a new back doctor. And just all the annoyances that go on with that. As I said, we got notified at the beginning of the month that no, we're not going to have to change medical facilities and everything's fine and wonderful. So, yay for that. Now, as far as the bales are concerned, did I collect everything that I wanted? I think I did. I think we're good for bales in the shed are more than 50. Silage bales are not more than 50 at the moment, but that will be fine because should get a bumper for this tractor. reminds me, I have tea. I should drink some. Yeah. Yeah, I really haven't had much going on apart from lying on my back and changing position every half hour or so. I got to get used to sitting in the office now so that Monday I can actually work as opposed to spend half of my time working, the other half of my time lying down somewhere. That was my tea. Cooling off, but still drinkable. I did watch a video this week concerning the death of the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are dying because of mussels imported from Black Sea. And they basically eat all the plankton and breed at voracious rates, like 1 million eggs a year each, and there's a population of about 3 trillion now in the Great Lakes. So the water in the Great Lakes looks crystal clear, which actually isn't a good thing because that's lack of any living thing in the lake. But the whitefish are a huge source of income. And I think over the last couple of years they have cut the quota by 90%, which is, yeah, the whitefish in the Great Lakes of US are dying out, and the population is aging. So it's like all of the young fish can't find plankton to eat, and so are starving to death before they, get even like young stage of growth. And then the only ones left are the old ones who ain't having babies. So and about the only lake that is surviving is the cold one right up in Canada, because the mussels can't live up there. And then we do have a fish in the Michigan lakes that will eat mussels. Unfortunately, they crush their shells, so they have a very hard sort of grinder at the back of their throat. Unfortunately, they need to be 15 years old before they can crush a mussel's shell. So while, once they hit 15, they're going to town on these mussels, but there's like hundreds of those versus 3 million mussels. It's like losing fight. And then the other thing that's happening is things up is the what is it, there is another fish that eats the mussels, which has been imported from Turkey via the same method. The mussels, they hitched a ride on a ship and jumped off in the lake. And those fish are really good at eating the mussels. Unfortunately, the unhealthy mussels get botulism, get eaten by the local birds, and the local birds die. And then anything that eats the local birds die as well. So while they're dealing with the mussels, again, it's probably the usual thing of there are fewer predators than there are prey, because that's the way things work. So you've got thousands of gazelles and dozens of lions. So there's always a food source for the predator, but they're never going to get on top of the problem and eradicate a serious amount of the population. Kind of like wild pigs that we have roaming. They have thousands of babies, and even if you kill tens of thousands of them, next year they're at replacement population. So you're losing that battle. Okay, I guess I should go and empty the harvester. Limited bacon, yes, so long as it is the right bacon. Watching Clarkson's farm this year, we're on season 5. He got some very pretty orange and black pigs, and he's been growing them for a while, but his chef at the pub that he owns pointed out that, well, actually, there's almost no meat on them. They're kind of small pigs. They're kind of small, cute pigs, but it's like, yes, it's really not unlimited bacon as far as his pigs are concerned. They are not the sort of pigs you want to breed for food stock. Which then begs the question, why would you want to breed them? But so he got rid of his pigs. He bought pheasants, and they all got eaten by the local fox, so that wasn't a particularly successful endeavour. He's got some easy care sheep, which are surprisingly quite easy care when concerned with normal sheep. I'm guessing they might be hair sheep, which means they don't have wool, they have hair. But he hasn't bought the sheep for wool. He's bought the sheep to run through his restaurant in the pub. All right, let's stop you there and go find... you still doing the headlands again? Yeah, you're redoing the headlands. You stopped there. Let's go find you. Now I could empty this guy on the way back. Might be a good plan. 17,000. Yeah. All right. He's a voice for the farmers, which is, I think that is more important than his success as a farmer. Although, that being said, he's learnt a lot in the years, but it's the highlighting of the plight of the agricultural industry and the fact that the government seems to be populated with people who believe that you don't need farmers, you just need grocery stores, and all the food you'll ever need will come from a grocery store. And yes, there are people who really believe that. Why does anybody keep chickens? You just go to the store and buy eggs. It's that easy. and he's also a rallying voice for the, he will speak up for the farmers, and that is immensely important when you've got stupid governments who don't understand anything. Can't remember what the latest stuff that the Labour Party was. I think I might be able to sneak down there, in spite of the fact this is a very, very, very big tractor. And then again, I might not be able to sneak down there. Get it in reverse, yes. Okay. Oh. Aha, yes. Well, that's an alternate, and that's even better. And the harvester is just around the corner now. The harvester kind of went the wrong way round this field. Oh, did just hit exactly where I need to be. Alright, that's 20,000 litres. We'll turn the engine off that, and oh, I will carry on baling this field. If I get all of this field baled, I will then collect all of it and then I'll move the baler onto the next field. Problem is these are my two medium tractors that are held up in this job. So if I had any medium work needs to be done, I don't have a spare medium tractor. I missed that bit. Well, it's what it is. I also went, I've traced out the curved, or the area for the curved platforms that I want on the model railway, which does mean sometime I'm going to have to scan those tracings in and then cut the pieces. It looks like it's going to be a couple of cutting sessions. First one is to cut out the shapes just to make sure that they fit where they need to go. So those are going to be scrap. And then I'm going to have to cut pieces with connecting teeth on so I can actually at least semi-firmly connect the side pieces so that they're a little bit more rigid than they could be. I might try a new method of support for the curved pieces because I don't have any wood I can bend to the sort of radius that I'm going to need to have. We'll see. Okay, this is good. Looks like I've got a long run down in the long run back. I think I'll do the outside and do this bit as well. So I'll have to come back to that. All right. Honestly, I'm not sure how much of this that we've got left now. I haven't really been paying attention. And also, because, what's it, season 6, they started off, Clarkson had blocked arteries round his heart and so was rushed to hospital. And apparently he was scrolling on his phone and got a pain in his wrist while he was doing it, or his arm while he was doing it, and thought, oh, this is signs of a heart attack. I should get rushed to the hospital and checked out. And it wasn't, it was cramp from scrolling his phone, but still they found the problem, and so he had a couple of stents put in his arteries, which was for him a good thing. But they were talking about, or at least some auxiliary videos have been put out talking about his businesses, and the pub is doing incredible, in spite of the fact during season 6 Charlie was there to talk about the finances because they were barely covering the cost of food, and it turned out that his is the cheapest nice food establishment in the area, sort of proper restaurant where you go in and you eat a 3-course meal and what have you, as opposed to a pizza parlor or something like that. But he's not charging what other restaurants charge, but also he's not getting his food from the same places that other restaurants charge. The other restaurants are buying the cheapest cuts of meat and